Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for January 10th, 2012. It is 9 a.m. and it's a little bit colder out there than it was yesterday. Temperatures range from the upper 20s to the mid 30s. We did have some snow flurries out there early this morning, let's say about 4 or 5 a.m. A few snow flurries around Atlantic City, a few snow flurries, and a little bit of light snow around portions of eastern Connecticut and portions of southern New England as an area of low pressure exited out into the Atlantic. So it produced a little bit of slick road conditions for some locations around Connecticut. But for the most part, really quiet weather conditions are in place and skies are starting to clear out as high pressure builds in. However, there's trouble brewing, and that trouble can be seen right here along the Gulf Coast. There is a strong upper level low associated with the subtropical jet stream, not the polar, but the subtropical, and that's an important distinction because the subtropical jet stream right now is the main player in the weather pattern right at this point. And as a result, as this storm intensifies and moves to the northeast, it is going to draw up a lot of warm air, which means that our next upcoming storm for Thursday is going to be rain for about 99.9% of the northern mid-Atlantic, which of course is the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. When you take a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see here's our first disturbance that produced a little bit of light snow. You can see on the satellite picture a little bit of the cloud cover move through Connecticut. We have a little bit of an enhancement, and you got a few snow showers and snow flurries. But here's our main storm for Thursday, and you can see that the upper level low associated with the subtropical jet stream is pretty impressive. It's tightly wound, it's very well developed, and you can see the surface low pressure system sitting over western Louisiana. This low pressure system will track to the northeast, while this high pressure system moves due east, and as a result, the combination of the two will produce southerly to southeasterly winds ahead of the storm on Wednesday, which will keep our temperatures warm on Wednesday into the 40s. And then on Thursday, as this storm moves through the region, temperatures will be rising into the 50s. Clearly not supportive for any type of snowfall. So as a result, we're going to be dealing with heavy rainfall as this low pressure system tracks to the north. But notice these cold fronts over portions of the Great Lakes and over the northern plains in central Canada, way up here. Here we are, right, this one. What's going to happen is that this low pressure system is going to track to the northeast. This cold front is going to drop south, and we are going to get very cold for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Take a look at the latest model guidance as we move forward. You can see our storm lifting northeast tonight into tomorrow. It will move into the Tennessee River Valley. Now, as it's doing so, notice that our high pressure system is giving way. Now, this is called a CADE feature, cold air damming. The only problem is that, again, is that everything's kind of giving away. Now, we do have a weak negative NAO pattern here, according to the model guidance, which is slowing this storm down, but it doesn't last. So as a result, when we look forward, you can see that the blocking gives way. You end up with the high pressure system shifting off of the East Coast, and as a result, we warm up and rain will fall. I'm expecting anywhere from a half an inch to an inch and a half of rain, possibly a few locally higher amounts and some heavy downpours. But this storm is clearly a storm that is focused further over the interior, and as a result, mostly rain will fall. There could be a little bit of sleet mixed in over portions of northwestern Connecticut and around the central Hudson River Valley if you're traveling up in those locations. But I think for the most part, by the time you get to 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, you're dealing with mostly rain throughout the entire region. As we move forward into Friday and Saturday, as you can see, cold Arctic air builds into the northern Atlantic. High pressure will be in control, so it will be a really nice weekend. You know, if you want to go watch football, or you got an event outside. It will be chilly, no doubt about that. Temperatures in the mid 30s to lower 40s, but with high pressure in control, winds will be light and skies will be clear, so we won't have to deal with any precipitation. And then moving forward, we have another very powerful Arctic air mass that's going to be dropping south first into the central and northern plains, and then eventually towards the Great Lakes and towards the East Coast by the time we move into next week. So definitely a much colder weather pattern is evolving, but where's the snow? Well, we're going to have to wait until we see more high latitude blocking in the northern Atlantic to produce any type of major snowstorms. I just want to say I know that some people were jumping onto the GFS from 12Z. I think that we'll eventually move towards that pattern, but I think that the GFS is moving a little bit too fast for my liking. At the same time, I think that there's still a lot of uncertainty on exactly how this upper level low, this polar vortex, will drop south and reposition itself over portions of southeastern Canada. Plenty to look forward to and plenty to keep an eye on as we move forward. Thank you again for trusting in NYNJPA Weather for your weather needs. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and NYNJPA Weather on Twitter and Facebook. Have an excellent day. Stay safe out there.